Hey guys, it's Megan. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make these DIY squishies inspired by California donuts. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So the base of each donut is made basically the same way. So I started out by tracing a circular object onto my memory foam. In this case, I'm using some duct tape. And then I took a smaller circle and traced it in the middle of the circle that I just drew. And in this case, I'm using the middle part of a CD. And then I'm just cutting that out, and I'm cutting it into a donut shape. And once you have the basic shape cut out, you're going to want to start rounding off the edges, and you're going to want to round it off on the top and the bottom. And once the edges are rounded off, you're going to want to go ahead and cut out the hole for the center of the donut. And all of the donuts that I made have holes in them except for the Panda Donut, which does not. So for the Panda Donut, you can skip this step. And when you're done, you should have something that looks like this. And once my donuts were cut out, I mixed together some white, brown, and yellow puffy paint to get a tan color, and I painted this on the bottom of each donut. And once that dries, you can flip your donut over and start working on the frosting. So for the Panda Donut, I painted the top with 2 layers of white puffy paint. And while that was drying, I took an Oreo and I split it in half, and then I took half of the Oreo and I painted it with some clear nail polish. And once that was dry, I made a mold of the Oreo using some amazing mold putty. And after the mold putty has completely dried, you can remove the Oreo from the mold. And then I took some Model Magic clay, and you're going to want to make sure that this is Model Magic and not regular air dry clay, because Model Magic dries soft. And so you're going to want to take a little bit of Model Magic and put it into the Oreo mold, and you're going to want to make 3 of these Oreos. And you'll also need to make some Oreo filling. So for that, what I did was I just took one of the Oreo pieces and I measured a small ball of clay and I just flattened it out to be like the filling. And once the clay pieces had dried, I went ahead and I trimmed off any excess clay with some scissors, and this clay is really soft, so it comes off pretty easily. And then I went ahead and I painted each one with some acrylic paint. And I used a mixture of brown and black acrylic paint to paint my Oreos. And when the paint dried, I used some super glue to attach the Oreo pieces together so that I had one full Oreo and one just like one half of an Oreo. And then I let that dry and I cut it in half. And then I attached all of the Oreo pieces onto the squishy with some white puffy paint. And I also used white puffy paint to add details onto the eyes. And so this is how the finished Panda Donut came out, and I'm in love with this one. I think it's so cute, but if you guys don't have the mold maker and Model Magic, you could also use makeup sponges to make the Oreo parts, and it would work just as well. For the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Donut, I painted the top with 2 layers of purple puffy paint. And to make the Cinnamon Toast Crunch for the donut, I'm taking a scrap of memory foam and I'm just cutting it into small squares, and make sure that the squares are fairly thin, and then I'm painting them with a mixture of white, yellow, and brown puffy paint to make a tan color. And I'm painting these on a plastic bag so that I can paint both sides at once and it won't like stick to the plastic bag. And once my Cinnamon Toast Crunch pieces were dry, I took some brown puffy paint and a toothpick, and I'm just painting on lines of brown puffy paint to act like the stripes of cinnamon in Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And obviously this part is optional, but I just think that it's a nice little extra detail. And once the Cinnamon Toast Crunch pieces are dry, it's time to attach them to the donut. So I attached them with some purple puffy paint, and you can use either purple or tan, it really doesn't matter too much. And so I'm just arranging them on the top of the donut how I would like. And then to make the Cinnamon Toast Crunch kind of like layered on top of each other, for that I used some tan puffy paint, just so that it looked, I guess, better, I don't know. And so this is how the finished donut came out, and I think that this one came out really cute. If I actually went to California Donuts, I would probably get this one, or the Panda one, but I'm pretty biased because purple's my favorite color. For the MMs Donut, I painted the top of the donut with 2 layers of brown puffy paint. And then I'm taking various colors of puffy paint and I'm making dots about the size of M&Ms on the donut. So I'm using red, yellow, green, blue, brown, and orange. And you're going to repeat this until you've covered the whole entire donut. And once the paint was dry, I went in with a dotting tool and some white puffy paint, and I'm just painting on the M's onto almost all of the M&Ms. And this was definitely a time-consuming process. Like, you gotta be really invested if you want to do this one, because it probably took me about half an hour just to do all of these M's. And if you don't have a dotting tool, you can also use a toothpick, and that would work just as well. And this is how the finished M&M's donut came out, and it's definitely not perfect, but I really do like it. It's one of my favorite ones that I made, and it was definitely worth the time that it took to make it. And for the sprinkles donut, I painted the top with 2 layers of pink puffy paint. And this one was probably the easiest to decorate. All I did was took various colors of puffy paint and just drew on sprinkles. And I made a lot of my sprinkles a little bit too thick, so you might want to actually just squirt the paint out onto like a plate or something and use a toothpick or a dotting tool to make the sprinkles, because I think that mine kind of came out a little bit too thick. But other than that, that's really all that you do for this donut. And this is how the finished sprinkles donut came out, and for some reason this kind of reminds me of like the Simpsons donut, but yeah, this one's definitely not my favorite, but I still kind of like it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're not already and you'd like to be, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and make sure to follow me on Instagram, Musical.ly, and Tumblr. They're all WellerMegs. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!